Welcome back, folks, to Two Brits, One Puck. I'm your host, Mr. Intangibles and a Dragon Boy, Dan Masters, with my good friend, the East Kent Elliot Friedman, and a man who enjoys microwaving dry pasta, Will Everett Human. Will, how you doing?
I'm very well, Dan. I wish I was iconic enough to be enjoying microwavable pasta. I enjoy the fact that a certain somebody is indulging in microwaved pasta, but I myself am not brave enough to be that revolutionary.
We got to talk about Pattinson, haven't we? Robert Pattinson's interview with GQ.
Mate,
the inner workings of a madman.
what a fucking legend!
What a guy, an absolute lad.
What a king amongst men. Like, it's one of two things. He's either actually this fucking psychotic, which is incredible, utterly incredible, or it's all put on for the interview, which is equally incredible as far as I'm concerned.
See, this is what I wrote. This was the first thing I wrote about it when you said you wanted to quickly talk about it this week. I wrote, is this an Andy Kaufman thing, or is he actually like this? For those of you who don't know, Andy Kaufman was a famous comedian who was on SNL, and he was famously kind of all over the place all the time, and you never knew kind of where Andy started and Andy finished. He was always kind of blurring the lines, and he played a character called Tony Clifton, and when he was Tony Clifton, he was Tony Clifton. You couldn't call him Andy, you couldn't talk to him as Andy, he was Tony. And Tony Clifton was this horrible piece of shit kind of lounge singing character that Andy played. And he would be someone else. And the same with Andy Kaufman. He was just kind of... People still believe that Andy Kaufman isn't dead, and it's an Andy Kaufman joke. And that one day he's going to say, got you. And everyone's going to be thinking, what now? This is weird. And so people still didn't believe when he was seriously ill that he was actually ill. They just thought he was going to do a joke or it was a bit or something. And if you've not read this Robert Pattinson interview in GQ, you could be led to think maybe the same thing.
It's two nutters, basically, isn't it? Didn't somebody do a biopic of Andy Kaufman and play him?
As quickly as we've steamed off Robert Pattinson here into something much more kind of weird, yes, Jim Carrey played Andy Kaufman in the biopic of Andy Kaufman. Jim Carrey the whole time would only respond as Andy or as Tony Clifton. He was not Jim Carrey. And if there's a Netflix documentary about it, and Jim Carrey comes off as a crazy person in the documentary because he just becomes Andy Kaufman. He acts like him. He starts doing everything the same way he did. Everything. He just becomes Andy. He's not Jim Carrey that whole time. It's very weird. It's very weird. But then that's the kind of meta of this documentary is nobody knew where Andy Kaufman started and finished. And in that documentary, nobody knows where Jim Carrey's gone. It's just Andy's back.
When I was reading this GQ interview and like all the reaction to it, I was just thinking like this is very... It's like a better version of what Jared Leto was trying to do as the Joker.
Yes.
If you told me that Robert... Like if I knew nothing about the upcoming Batman film and Pattinson being... cast for it, I would take that as this guy making excellent, not the Joker as we know it necessarily, but a more sort of unhinged in a less dangerous kind of way version of the Joker.
Yeah,
because he's
I agree completely.
He's clearly a fucking lunatic, and I love all the quotes he's come out with about how he's actively not been training to be Batman. Whether or not they're true, because there's loads of photos of him absolutely ripped to shreds, but
yeah.
Just the fact that he'd come out and say that, clearly knowing that it's going to rile up so many fucking Batman t-shirt wearing so-and-sos on the internet.
Somebody had a tweet the other day saying, I like the fact that people are mad that Robert Pattinson isn't training to be Batman, yet what he's doing is being a crazy rich recluse living off on his own, kind of doing his own thing. Like, he's actually being Batman now. That's what Batman kind of does, you know?
Oh, mate, if we had like a sort of not alternate reality, because Batman isn't reality, but you know what I mean, an alternate telling of the Batman character which focuses more on the reclusive insanity side of Bruce Wayne, where he feels he has this delusion of grandeur that he's actually doing good out there, but really he's just going out and getting the shit beaten out of him and not doing any, like he's a shit Batman and just a mental Bruce Wayne. That'd be good.
I was with you for the first part of that. I think the idea of having a Batman that's like, it shows the dark, reclusive side of Batman. He has nobody to talk to. And he is probably, in theory, like Bruce Wayne is crazy. He is crazy, if you think about it.
Yeah,
he's this billionaire who goes out at night dressed as a bat and attacks people to do good for the city. Like, that's insane. And then he comes home and he's got nobody to talk to except this old English SAS butler. That's fucking mad. Of course he'd go crazy. He's got no kind of people skills or any sense of reality, has he, or normalcy?
Yeah, like how would you be able to pull off the Christian Bale sort of Batman aesthetic if you really were him? How would you be able to go to these? Like, you'd end up more like Bale is at the start of The Dark Knight. No, not Dark Knight. What's the third one? Dark Knight Rises.
The Machinist.
But if you were the Machinist and you tried to be Batman, you would be snapped in. It'd be like if I tried to be fucking Batman.
So true. I think the two best things I enjoyed about the Pattinson interview were clearly him trying to make that pasta dish at the end in the microwave with sugar and cheese. Like, what the fuck? What? That's what just made me think, okay, this is an act, because nobody in their right mind, especially a man of 32, even with limited cooking knowledge, would think that putting dry pasta in a bowl of water and then putting that in the microwave and then putting that in some tin foil with sugar and cheese is any kind of idea, and then putting that in the microwave and blowing up the microwave. Part of me was just thinking, no, this is too much now. You've gone too far, Rob. I was believing you for a second. Now I think it's some bullshit.
The fact that he's in his house and he's like, I was using this earlier. I could have sworn it was an oven.
I know.
And the thing that I kept having to remind myself while reading this interview was the fact that this is over a Zoom call. So he's like dragging this laptop around with him, or like his phone or whatever. And just
he said he doesn't know how his phone works. He doesn't know how his laptop works. Things keep cutting out. The internet's going off, and I just kept thinking, as it got further and further on, I just kept thinking, no, okay, I know what's happening here. This is too much now. I don't buy it anymore.
Nah, I want to buy into the kayfabe. Robert Pattinson's some fucking skagged out nutter that's just floating about.
And the other thing I like is something I always like, which is just, oh, this is Robert Pattinson at home being a crazy person. The jacket he's wearing is $8,000. The scarf is $500. Like, could you not just put him in? If you're going to go this way, just put him in regular clothes. Like, these jeans were £7 from Primark. No, it has to be like an $8,000 Louis Vuitton jacket.
I like it even more, like thinking about he's wearing like a one of three £12,000 kimono while he's making this microwave pasta. the juxtaposition of like the scummy ineptitude of the cooking and like the elitist of elite. Like it feels like a deleted scene from Parasite.
Brilliant. Okay, should we get on with the show?
Alright then. I've got some pasta in the microwave, so don't let me forget.
Okay, so Akeem Alou had an article this week in the Players Tribune that was really, really good. I guess we'll talk about the fallout from the article in a minute and kind of what I noticed after it had come out. I would say there was nothing in the article that I'd not already heard or sort of read about already, but the interesting side of it was just him growing up and what his parents had to go through to get where they got and everything they kind of endured. And realising what his mum and dad must have had to go through as a mixed race couple was at times interesting and obviously terrifying. Because Christ, I mean, we think things are bad now. I can't even imagine how it was when they were younger and they first met and sort of fell in love and everything. Anything from you from the article that really stood out?
No, you make a good point about how there's nothing new there. Not nothing new. It's a hard way to put it, but. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that has come out already, but I just thought it was so shocking to have it all there written out in front of you, and like you say, to take in the extra. It's all stuff that people know goes on. Like, of course, Akeem Alou's dad was subject to racism in the Soviet Union. Like, of course he was, but it doesn't make it it obviously doesn't excuse it. And to have it all laid out in front of you in one sort of linear. Look at all this horrendous stuff that happened to him. Like I knew all about the stuff that happened with Steve Downey in Windsor, but to have it all out there again, it's just horrendous. And to have it sort of long form rather than just in tweets of this is the information, it really sort of made it hit home a bit more. Like all that thing about him getting cross-checked in the teeth and then having to fight immediately after. It's like, you can ignore the racism side of it, which obviously you shouldn't, but just the fact that player A has supposedly disrespected the team, so then he gets a fucking fiberglass stick through the teeth, loses 7 teeth, and then gets his face pummeled in. And that's like fucking a commended thing in this sport. You take the racism side out of it and it's still fucking awful. You throw in the racism and it's the worst thing ever.
I like that. I like the fact he called out Steve Downey. I like the fact he called, and said he's. I went through hell at the hands of a racist sociopath. His name's Steve Downey. Good. People should be named. Steve Downey's a piece of shit. End of story. Like I said last week, even when this story, I guess, came out all those years ago, or even when it resurfaced, all people would write in the media is, obviously there was the incident with Steve Downey. That's all they would say, and that's just terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Say how exactly you feel as a reporter about that incident and that situation.
Absolutely, and there's been so much of that bad faith reporting over the years on incidents like this that when members of the media now are commenting or even just sort of forwarding on, if you will, or retweeting the Akeem Alou story, there is no benefit of the doubt for these members of the media. Like, if you're not condemning the story in the right language, then you're not given the benefit of the doubt that you're not an ally, sort of thing. Like I said, I don't know if you saw people jumping on Bob McKenzie yesterday.
No, I didn't see that.
So Bob McKenzie retweeted the Akeem Alou story, and the wording was very interesting story from Akeem in his own words, and a lot of people took umbrage with that, and I can't say I'm particularly against them. The problem people saw with that was like, no, it's not fucking interesting. Like, there was no condemnation in the words from McKenzie, and I don't want to hate Bob McKenzie just for potentially a throwaway tweet, but it's things like that where, like, it does have to be taken with more severity when we're talking about these things. Like you said last week, like, people do not stand up against these situations at all. Nobody has the guts in hockey to actually come out and call a spade, for want of a better term. And I think, while Bob McKenzie probably didn't mean any harm in the wording of his tweet, it's important that people make it known that they are against these things, because otherwise at the moment the default is that you're with it, you're for it. Yeah, saying that's an interesting story is what you say when somebody tells you something about a physics discovery that's just been made, or oh god, when I was a kid I did this. They go, oh, that's interesting. Not, did you know this guy racially abused me, and then when I stood up to him he cross-checked me in the face and then beat me up. Oh, that's interesting. Isn't that something?
No. Isn't that an interesting story? No, that's... Yeah, exactly. The wording's got to be better. Even just to tweet something along the lines of, this is Akeem Alou's story. Read it. Something like that. Or, this is what Akeem Alou went through. Read it.
I'll give you a word instead of interesting that still begins with I that would have been good. Important.
Exactly.
And it's
but there's just too much of this.
It's every opportunity being a missed opportunity to stand up for people of colour and minorities and anyone who's marginalised in this sport. And the more and more that people do not take the opportunities to have the simple thing of saying, I stand with Akeem Alou, I do not stand with the racists, is becoming more and more unacceptable.
Do you know what? I'm really annoyed at myself, and I just forgot to write it down. Somebody put a tweet out saying that they'd spoken to NHL teams on numerous times to get their side on the race issue and why it's a problem. And all they kept getting back from the NHL PR teams was, why are you talking about this? Why are you pushing this?
From the Penguins specifically.
They just want to bury their head in the sand over it. And then when this reporter had put out that they'd been talking to the Pens and got pushback along the lines of, why are you talking about this? There were multiple fans in that tweet thread saying, well, yeah, the problem is that you reporters are going to twist something some player says. I'm just thinking, how can you twist? Sidney Crosby comes out and says, I started with Akeem Alou. Racism is bullshit. How's a reporter going to twist that? What's the twist to standing against racism? I don't get it. And it's like Akeem said in his piece, it's not just the NHL there's a problem. It's at college level, it's at youth level, it's at midget level. It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. And it's like a virus. Players are so terrified to say anything, to stand up in case anything happens. He said that Jake Dowell, the team captain, when Bill Peters had a go at him, Jake Bell went and confronted Peters and said, you can't say those things, you can't do this. But there's only so much you can do. Because if Jake Bell causes a problem, well, he's just seen that Akeem has been sent down to the ECHL. So, well, okay then, Jake, if you're such a big fan of Akeem, you can go fucking with him then. And then that's just, that's just so shit.
And it's, for people like Jake Dowell and AHL players, specifically minor league players, I don't think that there should be the same onus put on them to stand up as there should be on AHL players. I don't know Jake Dowell's contract history, but let's say he is an AHL only player. I've never fucking heard of him, so you can only assume he is. He's probably earning 70, 90, 100 grand a year, which, yeah, it's more money than you or I make, but it's not enough money to set you up for life. And this is a man who I would assume is untrained and unskilled in other professions. He's in a position where he's got to make his fucking bank playing in the AHL now, so he can't be risking his career for standing up against this toxic machine and culture that is built around hockey. Like Akeem Alou said, like, he stood up as much as he physically could without risking his job, and I don't hold any ill will against Jake Dowell for doing as much as you could. On a positive note, Dan, Stephen John's taken a bow, son. Take a bow, my boy.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was good. That's the kind of thing we need, though. Something as simple as that. Something as simple as that.
And it's sad that
we're setting the bar low, aren't we? Actually,
yeah, it's that hard one where you want to feel happy that somebody has stood up, but it's still, Stephen Johns is the saviour of people of colour in the NHL just because he said we have to do more.
Stephen John says, God, yeah, racism is terrible, isn't it? And we come on here and go, oh my God, he's amazing. What a man. Like, God, we're setting the bar so low. Yeah, it's a revolution.
Never has there been such an enlightened hockey player.
Christ. It's a low bar. It's a fucking low bar. And he's right. Akeem Alou is right. I didn't even think of this. He wrote that the slogan is hockey is for everyone. It isn't. It clearly isn't. You've already... He said it's like putting up a mission accomplished banner before even starting a mission. It's true. Hockey is not for everyone. It should be. The slogan should be hockey should be for everyone, but it's not there yet. I didn't even think of that wording until you mentioned it.
Well, and we've slagged that slogan off 1,000 times. But we still didn't get to that point of, like, actually the crux of it, why it's so wrong. It reminds me of this sort of psychology thing I was reading about ages ago that said, like, people who announce their plans to do things, like, say you plan on going to the gym and losing some weight, and you do your first thing of, like, I've been to the gym for your first time, here's to the road of losing 10 pounds or whatever it might be. The way your brain works, like, say you put that on Facebook and you get a bunch of comments saying, yes, well done you, we're with you, you're doing so good, proud of you and all that. That is, your brain interprets that as like, oh, well, I'm done. I've finished. I've got the good thing that I wanted. You've made me feel good, so I don't have to do that thing anymore. And that's what it is to me. Like, the NHL is like, well, we'll just say we did it, and then we don't have to do it. Yeah.
And then what we can do is we can just lump in everyone together in the same month. Black players, LGBTQ, hockey's for everyone. We'll just put it all together. Because at this point, we've done what we need to do. It's fine. We've accomplished our mission, and that's all we need to do.
It's also optional for all 31 teams. If you want to do it, great. If you don't,
of course.
It's fine. Yeah. Don't worry.
If you don't want to because you don't want to rock the boat, we get it. That's fine.
It's good. You don't want to be a distraction to your teammates.
You know what? I've literally just thought about this. Do you think a player like Quentin Byfield, and he is not meant to be, obviously, a spokesman or any kind of uprising of players saying, we need to do better, we need to do this, we need to do that. It should not be on him at all. But do you think if Quentin Byfield comes into a team and absolutely dominates the league, that it would change something? Like, he's on the cover of things, he shows things.
Let me... Have you heard of...
I know what... Wait. I know you're going to say, but this is going to sound crazy. Is it because Byfield's a forward? Would it be different if he's scoring goals all the time? How's that for a hot take?
Fucking...
Yeah, I know you're going to say PK, weren't you?
Whatever gives you that idea.
Exactly. But is it different if there is an awesome player who is not white, who is smashing the goals in every game, banging in 50 a season? Is that different?
Now, the thing that's the problem,
because I think it is.
Yeah, I think you've got a good idea, but it was never about on ice with PK, was it?
Yeah, but it all bleeds in together, doesn't it?
I think there's an element of it, like in the sense that everybody hates Eric Carlson because he's an offensive defenseman and apparently he doesn't play defense, or he was.
True.
But I think the crux of the issue with PK for a lot of people was his personality. Still is his personality and his off-ice antics. It was never like, there was an element of he carries the puck too much, he calls for the puck too much, and all that. That is interesting. That is interesting.
There is still though the forwards get the juice. The forwards get the praise, don't they? It's not if you win 1-0 and your goalie makes 20 saves. Well, your D and your goalie have kept a shutout. Yet the guy who scores the goal gets his name on the ticker tape, and the guy who makes the assist. It's not goal, assist. This defense got a great shutout. It's not that, is it? It's goals.
I think the thing I think about is we've had superstar players of colour before, like Jerome McGinley, namely, is the one that jumps to mind.
True, good point.
Other players like George Larac and stuff were good players. Anton Carter was a good player and stuff like that. But obviously Wayne Simmons as well, Joel Ward. And I think that's precisely. Oh, and Woody O'Ree, that rounds it out. I think the problem is it's not about having one coloured face in the top 10 of
true.
Goal scoring and point scoring, because that's not going to be enough, is it? That's not changing.
No, you're right.
One person isn't changing a culture.
I mean, saying that though, it's not going to make a difference, is it? Look at the NFL. Look at the NBA. They're still fucking racist.
Look at everywhere.
They're still racist everywhere. Look at footy. Footy's the same.
Mario Balotelli. Oh, yeah.
Footy's been having this bloody, racism's not fair. Show the red card to racism for years. I mean, years and years and years. And 2 seasons ago, a game in Italy was called off because of racist abuse. There was an England international for racist abuse a few months ago. So yeah, maybe it'll be better, but it's not gonna make a difference, is it? I'm just kidding myself.
I mean, I don't want to be so harsh, but yeah, you are. It's yeah. You could hope that Quentin Byfield coming in and scoring 100 points would be magical enough to have all these hicks be like, hey, you know what? I've been hard on black people my entire life, but this young man and his toe drags have shown me that I was wrong. But it's not going to be enough.
But do you know what it is, though? It's just the generation, isn't it? You hope that Byfield comes in and then whichever teams he plays for, the generation that grows up watches him and says, instead of saying, I want to be like Sidney Crosby or I want to be like Ovi, I want to be like Quentin Byfield. That's what I want to be.
I hope so. The hope is that it leads another generation. It makes children of colour feel more at home, seeing someone who's representing them in the game, and then we'd have another generation of players. Because I think racism ain't new. Like, we've had plenty of generations for it to die out. But yeah, I don't know. We can only hope.
All right, let's move on. We'll talk about the proposed playoff idea in a minute. But I did just want to mention, I think it's interesting, Will, that clearly there was some backlash in ideas to this playoff formula, because if a team had to face Carey Price, I mean, what are they supposed to do, Will?
How could you possibly be expected to score a goal against that kind of player? Really?
I don't know. I'm baffled, mate. I mean, clearly this whole COVID situation has been perpetrated by the other 30 teams in the NHL so that they can have longer to game plan how to play against Carey Price. To me, that seems like the only suggestion that, the only thing it could be.
I'd argue it was facilitated by the Canadians because they knew it would end up in a playoff format that saw them get into the playoffs.
Yeah, good point.
I just don't. I don't even know what to say to it, because the gripe was teams didn't want. It wasn't that they didn't want a 2014 playoff. They didn't want a best of 3 for the play-in round potentially.
Yeah, in case they had to face Carey Price.
It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
This was Larry Brooks in the New York Post. This wasn't just a kind of Larry Brooks threw something out there. He said that he had multiple teams say to him, we'd rather not play the Canadians because over a best of 3, we're scared of Carey Price getting hot. Like, dude, it's the playoffs. Hang on. Who's Price's backup? I can't remember. It's a fucking goalie. Anything can happen. You should be scared of Price's backup getting hot. Any goalie can get hot in the playoffs. That's the point of the playoffs.
How dare you forget who Price's backup is. Is your favourite goalie?
Keith Kincaid.
Oh wait, it was. I think it's been Charlie Lindgren most of the time. I think Keith Kincaid's on the roster. Whatever. It's the argument is I don't want to play against a hockey team that has a goalie. Like it's fucking like anyone can get fucking hot, and it's this thing where obviously as we've seen time and time again, idiots still believe that Carey Price is God in a set of goalie gear. But it makes me think about like reputation, especially for sports stars, where you can't, on a game-to-game basis, you can't assess someone's reputation. Yeah, say the fucking name hockey player, say Evander Kane goes on a bender and he scores 4 goals in 5 games, he's got 9 points over a 5-game period. Oh, he looks like the best player in the NHL. That's not a reputation built, that's just a hot streak. Similarly with 40 games, you can have a good start to the season, crappy end to the season, and you're not, etc., etc. So I always think that reputation for sports players is 3 years behind, because that's the only thing you have cemented for sure. Okay, 3 years ago this player was this good, or had built up to that point this sort of resume. That is my current opinion of this player. So it's like, are you telling me that those same GMs would be happy going into a 3-game series against Vasilevsky or John Gibson or Connor Hellebuck? It's another way that these GMs are fucking telling on themselves that they're fucking idiots and they do not know. You want to have a go at some people who don't watch the games. Don't go after the analytics people. Go after the fucking GMs because they clearly don't know what they're talking about.
Oh dear, we do this joke every year, don't we? When the players poll comes out and who's best goalie again.
Every single year. Looking forward to it next year.
What are people watching? What are you watching?
Look, he's not a bad goalie, but he's not.
That's the thing. He's not a bad goalie, but he is, in my opinion, he's probably between 10th and 20th in the league. He's
definitely fallible.
Yeah.
He's not scary. Well, he's probably scarier than Matt Murray.
I knew you were going to say that.
To be fair, I've got the standings in front of me and Pittsburgh are looking at me. I had to say it.
But it's the thing. In my opinion, Dallas and Boston have got both their goalies are better than Carey Price. So there's 4 that are better than Carey Price already.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, I would. In the playoffs.
I think I'd probably want Carey Price over Anton Khudobin. All due respect to Dobby.
I wouldn't. In the playoffs, I think it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, if they've got the same contract.
Okay. I mean, they'll be making 10.5 a year.
yeah, not Price for $2 million.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And here's this is the crazy thing as well. We're hot take artists as well for saying this. We're hot take artists for saying, yeah, I don't see the Carey Price thing.
I don't know. I think that's another problem with how much of Twitter is real life, because I think most people on my Twitter at least know that Carey Price isn't the best goalie that's ever lived.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine. He's perfectly fine. There's times where he's been great. There's times where he's been bad. But most of all, he's good. He's a good goalie.
Perfectly good goalie. He'd still be a starter on most teams in the league.
Yeah, probably actually.
I'd probably still say he's a top 10 goalie.
You know what we've got to do, don't you?
Or rank the goalies.
Not rank the goalies, but are the 10 goalies you would pick before Carey Price? Fucking hell, right, hang on.
Vasilevsky, Gibson, Hellebuck. Who else did I say earlier? Did I say someone else earlier?
Rask.
Yeah, Rask, definitely Rask. This is
Halak. I'd take Halak before Price.
I mean, fair enough. I think you're a bit crackheady there, but fair play.
You're mad.
I'd probably
Flower.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to. You kind of have to at this point.
We're going off right now as well. I'm not talking. I'm going right now. I mean, I'd take Flower now. Holtby. I'd take Holtby now.
Today. Holtby, really? I don't know about that one there, boy. Lundqvist, definitely Lundqvist. No respect for Hank around here. I might even take Carter Hart, to be honest.
Anderson?
What?
Freddie Anderson?
Nah, not Freddie Anderson.
You don't think Freddie Anderson's better than Carey Price?
I think it's much of a muchness.
Okay. We'll call it a wash then. Fair enough. We're saying better.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's particularly worse.
Be a Carter Hart for sure. Tristan Jarry, based on this season.
No, not Tristan Jarry.
No.
Come on. Come on, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
Come on. Do be serious. Oh, racist Robin Leonard, maybe? You kind of have to, really, don't you?
Yeah, maybe. Who's your boy in Dallas?
What, Big Ben?
Ben Bishop.
Big Ben. Again, I think it's much of a muchness. With I still think Price is a good goalie.
He's good, but
I think Bishop is good too.
If you're giving me a list of goalies, I wouldn't want to face in a best of 3 series. He wouldn't be in the top 10. He really wouldn't.
I wouldn't put Ben Bishop there though.
I don't know.
I wouldn't put Bishop in the top 10 necessarily.
Oh, even then though, it kind of proves a point. We're saying Freddie Anderson, yeah, kind of a wash. Ben Bishop, yeah, kind of a wash.
That's the thing.
If Price is that good, I should say every single name, and you should be saying, no, mate, you're mad. Why would I pick Freddie Anderson over? No, there's no way.
That's it. I think
instead of just saying, yeah, I suppose.
It's a state of goaltending in the NHL. There's like 5 really good ones. Then there's anywhere from like 15 to 40 goalies. So it's like, yeah, whatever. And then there's
Binnington.
I can't answer that in good faith.
We're just talking about being a goalie. Forget everything else.
Yeah, I still can't answer that in good faith.
I stand by what I just said. Right. Okay, fair enough.
No, not Binnington. Because Binnington's still going to be playing in the KHL with Jonathan Marchessault next year. It's going to happen.
Fair point.
Don't worry about it.
There was someone else I just saw. Oh, how about Elvis?
Oh, mate, nah. I'm not taking a geezer who's got fucking 27 career games.
I'm just saying this. I just said to you, I'm just saying this season. I'm not talking about historical.
Still,
I'm just saying this season.
That's not enough for me to tell you what Elvis Merzlikins is going to be like in the next game.
You're not taking. See, see. This is the case. This is very difficult. I believe in the hot hand. You ride the hot hand.
Do you think
Elvis is playing out of his mind? Elvis is playing out of his mind right now. I'll take him right now. Do you think? Because I know he's going to play out of his mind.
Do you think he still has a hot hand 3 months later, after his last game?
Yeah, but we'll. Okay, I kind of see what you're saying, but I'm kind of basing this off the fact that we're looking at, okay, there's no break in the season. We're just carrying on as things were.
Yeah, but that's not what we're criticising. We're criticising.
Oh, yeah,
people
okay, you're right. Okay, you're right.
Do you want to name any more goalies? Or should we have a...
No, let's get off this.
Antti Niemi, does that Niemi make the list?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Paddy Roy.
Paddy Roy. Not Patrick Roy. Not Patrick Roy.
No, Paddy Roy. That was one of my first ever jokes.
Fucking Paddy.
It was Paddy Roy and Jackie Plant.
Jackie Plant.
There we go though. Carey Price to be feared apparently.
Fucking quaking in my boots over it.
Just quickly, what was you mentioned you wanted to talk about Tom Gagliardi. What was that?
Oh, I was just about to close that tab because I didn't know if we were going to do it. So he went on a radio station in Dallas. Tom Gagliardi is the owner of the Dallas Stars, as well as a number of restaurants and hotels. So the quote is, it's a bit of a horrifying thought to think about the NHL without fans. He said he doesn't think we need the vaccine to see fans back in stadiums, and also admitted he doesn't know a solution to get the fans back in. He mentioned models of plus or minus 4,000 fans in a stadium where people could social distance at a game, saying next week we could have some sort of a way that prevents people from dying. It may not be a vaccine, it may be a game changer too. Could you stand outside your stadium and have 18,000 swabs and swab everyone's temperature? I don't know. Basically, he carried on saying, I want to make money and I don't give a shit if people die.
Herd immunity.
Right, if we all get it, no one's got it.
That's a very good point. If everyone's special, then no one's special, are they?
It ties in nicely to something that I saw today. I watched a little thing from, I think it was from late last night, with Elliot Friedman, Chris Johnston, and some new Sportsnet anchor that I've never seen before. But they were talking about the potential restart, which we're going to get onto, and saying about the potential for fans in the buildings, if ever. Naturally, they were saying, we're not going to be looking at fans realistically for most of this, but they floated the idea of fans for the Stanley Cup final, like a limited number, like say 2,000 fans. Friedman pointed out the thing that, which I hadn't even considered really logistically, to get say 2,000 fans into a stadium in the middle of a downtown area, in say Vegas as the proposed hub city, you would need a mile of queuing for social distance queuing to get into the stadium. Then what do you do about manoeuvring around the stadium, let alone while you're sitting is fairly easy. I suppose
Go to the toilet.
Using the toilet at breaks. How about leaving the stadium at the end of the game? It's just like there's so much more to this than at first meets the eye on the surface. And that really got me thinking that I don't think it's going to be sensible to have fans at stadiums at all for a long time.
It's clearly about money, because the Scottish leagues in football in Britain have just finished their season and they're just done. Whereas the Premier League has said, no, we're going to come back and finish the whole thing. Because clearly they have a massive TV contract to fulfill. And this has been the case in wrestling in America, where WWE and AEW have carried on primarily because they have TV contracts to fill. And if they don't fill those quotas for TV shows or hours produced of television, the networks who pay exorbitant amounts of money, if they're trying to cut costs, could say, well, you've broken your contract, so yeah, we'll see you later. We're going to redo it. And that would be, I would assume, maybe the same for this, maybe the same for the Premier League, that maybe there are outs in these TV deals where if certain quotas aren't being produced, then the TV companies can say, yeah, I think we're going to restructure it and pay only half for this sort of this sport instead. And
that money's gone as well. You know for a fact.
Yeah.
That all this money has been spent.
Oh yeah.
It's scary. It's scary, and the problem is, like, as much as your average person would be like, well, I'm not going to go because it's not safe. You're never going to run out of sports fans to go to a stadium.
Plenty of people would go, and I don't even think they would care. Do you know what I could see the NHL doing? I could see the NHL saying, we don't want you to come. Please do not come to these games. We have got 4,000 seats that you can buy for a premium, but please do not turn up, please. But if you want to pay for a seat, they are here, but don't turn up, okay? And then, there's 20,000 people outside trying to get in.
That's the sickening thing. You're going to have 4,000 people spending £1,000 each just to...
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing, like, if you're talking about opening stadiums to a limited number of fans, that revenue is not going to be high enough to make a difference unless you charge people out the arse for it. So you're either looking at, say you do an average of like $100 a ticket for the playoffs, which I think is fairly standard, maybe even a bit low. What, you're going to make $400,000 off a game, yeah? If you get 4,000 people in it.
Yep.
Which, $400,000 is nothing to turn your nose up at, but I can't imagine that's enough that we're talking about.
I know, compared to what they would normally get.
Yeah, exactly. Or you charge people out the arse to catch coronavirus while watching your team lose in a fucking shit fake playoff game.
I can totally see that happening. I really can.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, without a doubt.
Did you catch any of the Bundesliga at the weekend?
No, I didn't watch any of it. I didn't.
It's very peculiar. Oh, God, that's something I was meant to mention. I was going to say it was very peculiar because all you can hear is the manager screaming stuff to the players. And the players... Because normally you just can't hear anything. You just hear like the dull of the fans.
The odd tune being sung out.
But you could hear everything. And I'm thinking, if they go... And I know Friedman mentioned this on 31 Thoughts last week, but it was something I was thinking about. How are you going to have hockey players live mic'd with no fans? How? Because I tell you, if you do that, God, the games will be cut off after about a minute. The amount of swearing, the amount of abuse that goes on, even cheeky little comments that might normally go under under someone's breath. It's going to be caught on. It's going to be caught live everywhere.
I reckon they'll use some sort of like filter or whatever. Like I don't know, maybe high pass or low pass or whatever it might be. They'll do something to the audio because obviously
they'd have to.
Because it'd be the same if those mics are picking up like the cutter skates in the ice and like the puck bouncing off the boards when you've got 20,000 fans in the arena. You'll be able to replicate that even if you just have like white noise underneath it or something to cut out the voices and still keep the sound. Yeah, you
just need music playing. You just need music playing all the time, like New Jack in ECW or something.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. Like I'd quite like just raw sound, and obviously I'm sure we'd all appreciate. People of a certain volition would enjoy hearing whoever effing and jeffing at each other, but
I guarantee you, the first game, the first shift, the second those players got back on the bench, all you can hear down the bench is, "Oh yeah, what about you, you fucking shithouse?" Stuff like, hey, cut the game off, that's it, we're done already.
Fuck off, Lawson, you fat redneck cunt, like.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you, Marchand, you ratty prick. That's all you're going to get. Like, forget it, we're done. We can't show these games. This is terrible. There's children watching.
And this is it. As much as we joke about it, like, fair play. There are plenty of people out there who don't want to hear that sort of thing. The children should be allowed to watch hockey games without their parents worrying about the sort of language they're going to hear. And people of a gentler disposition shouldn't have to be subjected to that during a fucking sports game. It's it's completely right. As much as I'd like to see it, it should be 7 o'clock on a Saturday night on national television. Like you say, 30 seconds in, you've already hit your quota.
Yeah, there's like a scrum or something. Yeah, fuck you. Well, fuck you too. Well, fuck your mother. Fuck you. Well, great.
Oh, they're not 2 meters away.
Yeah, the noblest of sport.
Jesus Christ. On that Bundesliga thing, that fucking photo.
Which one?
The two photos. You've got a picture of players playing a football match, I assume getting ready for a corner. You've got 3 players in about a metre square. And then the picture of the bench where you've got all the coaches 2 metres apart, marched up to the hill. That's like, what are we fucking doing here, boys? What?
Exactly. How? How does it make any sense?
How is that safe?
It's not. And even then, when they scored, they wouldn't go and celebrate with their teammates. I was like, mate, you were just stood at a corner. There was a guy literally in your pocket, like marking you. Now you can't go and celebrate with your teammates. At this point, you're trying to close the door after the horse has bolted. It's just ridiculous. What are we doing?
Not only is the horse bolted, but you snogged that coronavirus-infected horse before it bolted.
So true. Christ. All right, let's move on. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, YouTube, but not at the beach because we're not stupid idiots. But if you could leave a 5-star review, that would be great. This part of the show, of course, is brought to you by Wave Intel. With hockey maybe being around the corner, let Wave Intel get you back up to speed so you can annoy everybody by letting them know how smart you are, by telling them why player A is better than player B, or why your team is better than their team. Wave Intel, online and on Twitter, being smart, so you don't have to. Before we discuss the playoff thing, you wanted to quickly mention something about the NBA. What was that?
Oh, yeah. So, I can't remember if I mentioned it last week on the show. I probably did, but I am now an NBA 2K20 player. Very bad.
You are? Yes.
I am indeed. I'm a very bad one, which is quite an interesting experience playing their Beer Pro version. When you're just bad and do not understand the rules of the game, do not know what you're meant to be doing. It's quite a change from scoring 7 goals a shift on NHL 20.
Yeah, middle class white boy can't play basketball. Everyone's stunned. Carry on.
I believe there's a film about that, starring.
Yeah, but they're not pro ballers. They just play at the beach, 2-on-2.
I've not seen White Men Can't Jump, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're not pro. They just hustle for money. Same 2-on-2.
Same difference. Good thing I'm not playing for money, Dan, because I'd be very fucking poor right now. But I'll get a bit of an interest in the sport, and I wanted to watch more to learn what to do and all that sort of stuff. So I look at finding, because the NHL TV has free games once a week or whatever it is, so you can go back and watch them. I thought I'd see if the NBA had a similar thing. Upon my investigation, obviously there's an app and a big hub for NBA TV or whatever. There aren't free games, throughout the season you can't just watch a free game here or there, but because of the coronavirus lockdown, their entire app is just open. You can watch any game from this season or last season for fucking free.
Wow. In
full, all the highlights. You've basically got access as if you paid 150 quid for the year.
Well, that's really good.
It's really good. Really, really good. Why aren't the NHL doing that? What is the difference?
Well, you see, okay, Will, you've made a classic mistake. Is that sports leagues are normally run well because they want to generate money. They want to generate fan interest. It's not a closed kind of cabal type of meeting where only certain people have to find their way in, like the NHL. To be an NHL fan, you have to find it yourself.
It's not can't be Stonecutter.
Well, you can lead an NHL horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's the thing.
No, it's not allowed to drink.
No. And if it does have a drink, it's then cross-checked and punched in the face for daring to have a drink. No. That's the problem, you see, is that you're looking at it from a common sense point of view, Will, where wouldn't that be a really good idea if the NHL were promoting everywhere, watch hockey for free while coronavirus is happening, watch any game you want from the postseason or pre-season or anything. But no, we can't do that.
It's so... The thing that really got me thinking about it is like, what's the point in not doing it? Because who is paying 120 quid for a season's worth of NHL access when there aren't any fucking games happening? They wouldn't be losing out on a penny if they did that. Like, I just do not understand it.
You don't think Derek Smith from Vancouver thought, hang on a minute, the hockey season's been postponed. I better sign up now. No, I agree. Yeah, but I don't think he was either.
Derek was a very different case where most people aren't doing that. Well, Derek Smith has unfortunately bought 5 subscriptions this week. It's I'd be so interested to know their new subscription numbers since the season was postponed.
Maybe it's a TV thing. Maybe it's a TV thing. I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with that. I'm not sure.
But surely the NBA
because that's the stupidest, easiest thing. Hey, Will, here's an inside joke you're going to get now. That's a layup. It's a layup.
Oh, there you go.
Isn't it?
Don't joke about that, Dan, because it's actually quite hard for some of us.
Because you can't do
pull that off. Mate, the thing with this fucking 2K game, right? I'll just have one.
Here we go. It's the game's fault. Carry on.
No, it's not the game's fault. It's just the adjustment. Because like that, have you ever played it? Have you played 2K?
Yeah, I played it. Yeah.
So the whole shot meter thing and having to get your timing right on shots. So used to coming from any other sports game. It's like, well, that's a shoot button. Or does that shoot? Yeah. Does it go on target? Yeah. So
I just tap it. Shoot. That's it.
Just press it. So what do you mean I missed? I'll press the button. I'll press the shoot button.
What do you mean to put up an absolute brick? You're kidding, aren't you?
It's fucking so disheartening. Like it's really fun because it's like it's a challenge and stuff, and you're actually learning and improving as you go, rather than like, oh, I didn't score 5 points, what a shit game. But it's very disheartening when you're like, I do not know what I can do.
I don't know what I can do. You practice, Will. You get better. That's the point. You just practice. Keep going.
That's fucking real life shit, Dan. I don't want to be doing that on the PlayStation. Fucking hell.
Do you not enjoy that sometimes? That kind of grind to do stuff?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I played through Dark Souls, and I don't want to have to do it ever again. I've decided that that's very much not for me.
Oh, that's amazing. But yeah, that's why the NHL don't do it, Will, because that would make way too much sense.
They might potentially lose one payment of 140 quid over the next 6 months. Or
think about this, worse than that, they might make new fans. And then what are you going to do?
You don't know where they're from, do you?
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly.
That's the fucking problem.
The playoffs. It looks as though we are heading towards a 24-team conference-based playoff format for a potential return to the 2019-20 season. Multiple places have confirmed.
Fucking love it. Absolutely love it.
So the top 4 seeds, as determined by their point percentages when the regular season finished, will receive buys through a round of best of 5 play-ins that will feature seeds 5 through 12. And the NHL will likely utilise 2 hub cities for the restart. The main one being talked about is Vegas. I would assume it's going to be Vegas because that's all I've heard. And the other one would be, I presume, somewhere in the east. And they're going to meet on Thursday? What day is it today?
Yeah, today.
Today. Yeah, they're meeting today to discuss the format and other kind of ideas. Bo Daley said that he's not aware of any agreement yet. He doesn't want to jump the gun on anything. But obviously, as you mentioned, having teams back is there are a lot more considerations other than just getting the teams going. So what do you think about this?
So I like the idea. My main gripe with it, Dan, who could have seen there being a gripe, is they're not gonna reseed after the play-ins.
Yeah, that's right.
Which to me is utterly mental. Like, you're going to have the 8th or 9th seed. So say in the East, Toronto, the 8th seed, beat Columbus, the 9th seed. They go on to play the 1 seed, who'd be the Bruins. Am I right? I've got the standings in front of me. And then say Carey Price is allowed to play, and then Montreal get an automatic bye. That would be the 12 seed playing the 4 seed in the second round or the first round, or whatever you want to call it. Which to me, like, as much as it doesn't matter at all, I'd be a bit miffed if I was Carl Dubas and I'm like, look, we'd have actually made the real playoffs. Fair enough, we'd have played the 1 seed. But
Yeah, in this situation.
In this situation, there's a team that has fucking no right of being there, and they're getting, in theory, easier matchup than we would. It just doesn't seem, especially as they're play-in games. Like it's not the first round of the playoffs. It's play-in games. It's all academic. It's all fake anyway. It's fake on top of the fakeness. What do you think?
I guess so. My concern, as always, has always been with this is that the top 4 seeds are not playing meaningful hockey. Now, I get it. They've said that there's going to be a little 3-game tournament during the playing round to kind of get any rust off these teams. But why, if you're playing a 3-game tournament, why if you're a Bruin, a Lightning player, a Caps player, or a Flyers player, are you going to go balls out in a meaningless round-robin tournament when there's actual hockey around the corner? You're probably going to work harder in your actual skates unless there is a reward of some kind for winning that tournament. I don't know what the reward would be.
I can't think of a single reward that is going to be enough to make teams want to play hard enough.
Me neither. I can't think of anything.
Nothing.
I would rather because all the teams are going to be in the same place anyway. It's not as though like Pittsburgh have got to go to the Panthers or fucking whatever. If all the teams are going to be together anyway, give them all 2 weeks training camp or whatever, and then that's it. You're all in meaningful hockey from the get-go. I'm not sure how they do it. I don't know if it's like a little mini league. You play each team once or something, and then that's it. Like after that, the standings are the standings, or maybe the seeds get. You know what they should be? Here you go. The seeds should be pointed from the get-go. So say, for example, the Bruins start off with 4 points, Lightning 3, Caps 2, Flyers 1. And then from there, each team plays each other once, and at the end of that, you've got your standings. And then you just go from then you go into a regular playoff format.
But I think that's going to take longer. So part of the consideration here is how long these players are going to be here doing this. I don't think the league wanted to go on for very long. A, for like the isolation considerations, and B, for the fact that if you have like a mini league and then go into the proper playoffs, it'd be fucking February 2021 before we're finished.
Not necessarily though, because if you play each team, maybe I don't know, maybe something like the top seeds don't have to play each other, or I don't know, something like that.
I don't think there is necessarily a good way of doing it, to be honest. I think this is, unless you just go into a strict top 8 each conference, points percentage, there you go. If you want to do a 24-team playoff, I don't know how else you do it, apart from this. Or there'll be different ways to do it, but I don't know how you do it with getting the top teams involved. But do you really think that we're going to have the top 4 seeds from each conference are going to go and get swept like the Lightning?
No, and do you know what? It's the playoffs. Even if it was a regular playoffs, there's a chance the top 4 seeds don't go through, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. I think to an extent, even if those teams are just, they get more practice time. That's their benefit. And if I'm a coach, if you're an NHL coach of one of those top 4 seeded teams, that are arguably very good teams, and you've got this practice time leading into the playoffs, if you're not drilling them with intensity, what are you doing?
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
I can't imagine Patrice Bergeron isn't going to come into game 1 of round 1 against fucking whoever it is, Toronto probably, and is not going to have some a good level of intensity.
What do you think of these matchups? We've got to assume this is how it's going to go, don't we? We've got.
Oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be it.
What are you intrigued in the play-in series? What do you like?
Fucking minimal, mate. It's all dross.
It's Leafs Blue Jackets for me.
There's nothing too exciting. What's exciting about Leafs Blue Jackets?
You've got the supposedly massive underdog, hugely overperformed Blue Jackets. It's almost blue collar, well, Blue Jackets essentially. Blue collar, Tortorella led, rough and tumble, digging for everything, versus this, high spending. What are they? I get there's obviously like cap kind of rules that they're cheating, but kind of $10 million over the cap team that's got these 4 forwards, getting paid an absolute rocket, and then you got the Blue Jackets who nobody thought anything would happen between. I'm intrigued by that matchup.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets are going to win it, aren't they?
Yeah,
that's the thing, isn't it?
Because in theory, you put those on paper, the Leafs just absolutely destroy them. 3-0, and it's fucking easy. There's nothing. Yeah, who cares? That's it. It's easy. But yeah, it's one of those ones where you're like, shit, this could be a banana skin. But if the Leafs go in there though and do whitewash the Blue Jackets, the narrative's probably going to be, yeah, well, they should have beat them anyway. You know, they've got all these expensive players. But to me, that's a statement win if they can do that.
Yeah.
Against a team that's been incredibly hot.
Because it'd be their first playoff round win, technically.
Do you know, actually, in the West as well, I am really intrigued if it does go ahead, you know, we get Oilers Blackhawks. I would be super intrigued by that, to see how the Oilers would face, like, you know, knowing that they're in the playoffs and they've got a chance to do something.
Yeah,
against guys who've, I know it's a cliche thing and I hate to say it, but guys who've been there before and know what it takes to win, know that in the playoffs as well, Taves and Kane know, you know, we can get away with more shit in the playoffs. Maybe we'll, maybe one of us leaves our stick up a little bit too long for Draisaitl or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I could without a doubt see Chicago taking Edmonton.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
That's a proper poster child series for what's wrong with having teams who weren't going to make the playoffs in the playoffs. Because Chicago have traded away one of their 2 goalies.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me that Chicago wouldn't undo that trade if they knew they were going to be in the playoffs? They fucking would. Like, it's...
Yeah, of course they would.
It's mental. It's mental, and that, you know, speaks to a problem with, as much as, yeah, if you reopen the trade market or whatever, it's not going to undo what's already happened. And there's a lot of stuff that's happened that is quite permanent like that. I mean, apart from that straight... I was just going to say, like, team-to-team matchup-wise, there's nothing too interesting for me. Like, the Hurricanes Rangers would be interesting from a sort of stylistic standpoint. I think that'd be a good series.
Yeah.
But, you know, Nashville, Arizona, Vancouver, Minnesota, there's nothing that sort of wets your whistle of like, oh, it's going to be a good rivalry game or whatever it is.
No, Preds Coyotes, nothing for me. No. Canucks Wild, not really. Flames Jets, no. Penguins Canadians. I mean, it's interesting to see, you know, Crosby and Malkin are going to go goalless in that entire series. That's going to be interesting against, you know, Carey Price. Oh, maybe I'd be interested the Panthers.
Yeah,
because you just know that, obviously, like I said the other week, all we've done all season is slate Bobrovsky in that contract, and he's going to go into the playoffs and absolutely wreck it. He's just going to stand on his head every night, and he's going to be unbelievable. 960
all the way to the Stanley Cup final.
Playoff Bob.
Mate, wouldn't even be surprised.
I wouldn't either, because it's hockey, it's the playoffs.
He's been a high-level goalie more recently than Carey Price has, so...
That's so true.
No one's worried about Bob. Oh, God, should we do some quick, not number of games or anything, but just run down the things, and off the cuff, who do you think's going to win?
All right, yeah, quick prediction. These aren't serious or anything. We'll go quickly. All right, Penguins Canadians.
Penguins.
Yeah, Penguins. Hurricanes Rangers.
I've got to go Hurricanes.
See, I'd go Hurricanes as well. Yeah, Islanders Panthers.
I think Panthers. I think the Panthers will take
Shit, I'm going Panthers. Leafs Blue Jackets.
I want to say Blue Jackets, but it's the Leafs. The Leafs have got to take.
Yeah, me too. I want to say Blue Jackets, but can you imagine if the Leafs? Oh my God!
I can't say no.
Jesus. I mean, for lols, it would be the Blue Jackets. But
I could see it happening. I wouldn't bet on Toronto, but
no, actually, that's a good point. I would put money on the other games. Not a lot, but I would. I would not put any money on this series. I could not pick. But if I had to, I would go Leafs.
I don't know, if the odds were nice on the Blue Jackets, I'd take it.
But that's technically that's the closest match. That's 8 versus 9. I mean, that is the closest matchup. But on paper, it just looks like a chasm in difference.
Yeah, but then I think, is that not reputation for Columbus, because they've been really good this year? Are we not still thinking maybe. we're still in the off season? They've not got Panarin, they've not got Bobrovsky.
And think of all the injuries the Blue Jackets have had as well, and they've still put that run together. They're going to get all their players back.
Yeah, Cam Atkinson.
I'm sure Seth Jones is out as well.
Yeah. There you go. Crikey.
So, okay, Oilers Blackhawks.
Blackhawks. I can't ever bet on the Oilers to win.
The thing is, that Blackhawks D is so bad.
It's so bad.
bad.
And they've only got one goalie, but I just don't.
I'm taking Oilers. I'm taking the Oilers.
That's probably a sensible choice. But...
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? You look at that on paper and you go, shit, the Blackhawks were a cheeky bet, aren't they? Oilers win 3-0 and you go, why did I pick the Blackhawks? I'm a fucking idiot. Why did I pick the Blackhawks? No, I've got to take the Oilers there. I've got to be sensible.
Spend all season slagging off the Blackhawks. Like, oh yeah, I'll definitely pick the Blackhawks in the playoffs. So
yeah, as soon as it gets to a pretend playoff series, we're like, oh, Blackhawks probably. Preds Yotes.
Preds.
I'll take the Coyotes there.
No, you fucking...
I would. I told you. Dude, what am I going to do? Since the start of the season, we've said this 3 or 4 times. I did not like the Preds. I've not liked the Preds all season.
Yeah, but
I think there's something washy about them.
I don't like the...
And the Coyotes are going to get their players back, and they're going to get their goalie back.
Yeah. Still, I don't know.
Okay. Canucks Wild?
Canucks.
I mean, oh God, I'll try and muster up some kind of interest in picking someone. Okay, yeah, Canucks, why not? Flames Jets.
You want to watch Pettersson fucking take a piss out of Minnesota, don't you?
I suppose. I think I've got second season fatigue with Patterson.
You're in a sophomore slump, he's not.
yeah, it's me. Yeah, I'm saying it's me, it's not him. He's amazing. Flames Jets.
Mate, how the fuck are the Jets the 9 seed?
Fucking got no idea.
Mental that. Unfortunately, the Jets aren't getting any D back, so I've got to go Flames.
Man, it depends which Flames turn up. They've been hot and cold this year, but
you'd have thought they'd be hot.
Oh fuck! I didn't even think of that.
There you go. You're welcome.
All right, yeah, I'd take the Flames.
Well, when this is set in stone, we can do some proper predictions with like games and stuff. But
absolutely.
To even have a whiff of some semblance of this might be some hockey coming back. It's exciting, isn't it? It's fun.
It is exciting. What time are we on? All right. Last thing. I want you to do this quickly. I'm going to throw something in you didn't know about.
Oh, go on. Do me off the bounce.
This is going to be a little quick quiz for you, Will.
Oi, here we go.
A Mr. So-called Southerner, the East Kent Elliot Friedman. Let's see how well you know your Cockney rhyming slang.
Oh, fucking hell. But I'm not a Cockney.
Dude, Kent is Cockney. Whatever. Don't tell me it's not. It's down there somewhere.
Well, next week I'll test Johnny Gaelic then.
Yeah, but I'm not from there. You're from Kent. That's Cockney. As good as.
I'm actually from Eastbourne, Dan. So,
whatever. Again, London. Same thing. Whatever. May as well be.
Go on. So, how many questions? What, 5, 10?
I'll just throw out 10. See if you can. See if I'll give you a couple of easy ones. Play along at home fun as well, everybody, because I'm sure we've said before, haven't we, that everybody in North America thinks that English people either talk like a Cockney or they talk like Prince Charles. That's it. There's no other accents.
No, Northerners don't exist.
Yeah, Northerners don't exist. There's no Northern accents on TV in America. Let's go with easy one: apples and pears.
Stairs.
Yeah, that's a simple one. That's the basics. What about a bit of Barney Rubble?
Oh, bit of trouble.
A bit of trouble, yeah.
I feel like
he's having a Barney. That's where that comes from.
Oh, is it? It's little things like the little evolutions that you never think about the root, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll start for like some maybe some medium ones.
All right. Before we get to the medium ones, I do want to just throw it out there that I'm going to do fucking awful at this.
That's fine. You never know. The Bristols.
Oh, mate. Nah, I've never even heard it.
Bristols is boobs.
Yeah.
Because it's, and I'll give you the full, it's the Bristol Cities.
Bristol Cities, yeah.
Bristol Cities. Yeah, okay, yeah, you can do the rest yourself. Some of them are just insane. I went quickly through this, I probably knew about 40 of these, but some of them are just bizarre. What's the chalk?
Oh, mate. No, like I know what it means, but I don't know what it refers to.
That's your arm. It's the chalk farm. Arm. What?
It's like fucking mental. Like, companies are a different fucking breed.
Like, how would you get that?
Everyone else goes to like Scouse people and people from Brum for the way they talk, but like, if you talk in proper Cockney rhyming slang day in day out, you're a fucking mental case.
Like my in-laws are both. My father-in-law's from my father-in-law's from Bermondsey, which is Millwall town. Jesus Christ! And my mother-in-law is from Peckham. They are as Cockney can be. When they're on the phone to their relatives, I have no idea what they're saying. Not a single clue. Because it's like half English, half Cockney rhyming slang, half just sayings they've picked up about certain things. And I just fucking like, Jesus Christ, I have no idea. Oh, you might know this one. What's the Khyber?
Oh, nah. such terrible content. No idea.
No, because it's play along at home fun, so everyone can have a go.
Send in your scores.
The Khyber is your arse. It's Khyber Pass, arse.
What's the Khyber Pass?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my god.
All right, I love this one. Morecambe Mindy.
Morecambe Mindy?
Morecambe Mindy. As in Morecambe Mindy, Nanu, Robin Williams. Morecambe Mindy.
Nah. No, I can't even think of what that could be rhyming for.
That's an easy one. That's Windy.
It's a bit Morecambe Mindy. You fucking...
That's the thing, though. You can't imagine if people are saying these things... Yeah, if people are saying these things to each other in conversation, you would turn to your friend and say, God, it's a bit more Mindy, isn't it? Who would ever say that? That doesn't make any sense.
Like the old chalk farm for your arm, I get it. Like Bristol Cities for your memories, I get it. Like and obviously apples and pears, but like what Morecambe Mindy? What is it? Is there new rhyming slang based on current pop culture?
Well, Morecambe Mindy was from like the 80s, wasn't it? So I guess there is. It changed. I guess it changes.
That's like... whoever it's 1984 or whenever Morecambe Mindy came out. Cockneys have been using Cockney rhyming slang for at least 100 years, and someone comes up, it's been Morecambe Mindy. What are you fucking talking about? And then it makes there's a fucking herald that comes out in the middle of middle of fucking Hackney Marshes. It's like, oi, got any bit of slang for you there, boy? And off we go.
And there we go.
Fucking ridiculous.
All right, this is an easy one. Pony. You're talking pony.
Oh, talking rubbish.
Yeah, talking crap. Pony and trap crap. Rosie Lee. Everyone knows that one.
No, I don't know Rosie Lee.
You don't know Rosie Lee?
Well, I might do if you say it, but I can't. I don't spend my days thinking in keeping my knowledge of rhyming slang up to date.
Yeah, but you should. Rosie Lee. Have a cup of Rosie Lee.
Cup of Rosie Lee. Cup of
tea.
Dairy.
It's tea.
Dairy triangle hot water.
My mother-in-law say, do you want a Rosie? Like, do you want a cup of tea?
do you want a Rosie? Excuse me.
Do you want a Rosie?
Happily married, thank you.
Two more. Okay, all right. You got this one. A syrup.
Syrup.
Yeah.
Nah. I've never even heard that.
How do I know more of these than you? This is insane. You're from there.
I want to find a bunch of really obscure Manchester slang from like the 1700s. What do you mean you've not heard of the burlap pimpernickel?
It means block of cheese. Oh, okay. Syrup of figs. Does that help? No, clearly not.
Pack of cigs.
No, it's a wig.
Oh, yeah. When have you ever seen someone wearing a wig?
I've seen people wear... You've never seen anyone wear a wig before?
Not like a wig. I've seen someone wear like a fucking party wig, but not like a wig. Not like a fucking...
I can't believe you've never heard a wig called a syrup. I'm actually surprised at that. I thought you would have heard that before.
Shocked and appalled. I'm physically shaken by the fact that you've never heard.
My heart is pounding, Will, that you've never heard.
I need to stop the podcast. Do you know somebody who wears a wig?
I did do. Oh, well, I didn't know him, but when I worked in Manchester in a large office. There was 3 floors, and there was a guy who worked on one of the floors upstairs wore a wig.
That's enough, though, isn't it? Yeah, like I've never even encountered someone that's worn a wig.
Oh, fair enough then.
It's not very modern, Dan. Showing your age gap there.
All right. You know what? I said it's going to be 10. I've just found 3 more. So I'll give you these 3.
Let's keep going. I'll just say no 3 more times. It's fine by me.
A tea leaf.
Oh, thief.
Hey, there we go.
That's basic. Come on.
That's basic. I thought... However, I can do this again.
Syrup was basic.
Yeah. I'll say this in a sentence. I'm with the trouble.
Oh, with the trouble.
And it's trouble that you're looking for.
Oh, I've heard of that one. That's not like the police or something, is it?
No, I'll give you the rest of it. It's the trouble and strife.
Oh, the wife, yeah.
The wife, yeah. And with the troubles on the phone, which I must admit I do like. That's very funny.
It's beautiful. The trouble and strife. And
the classic, an absolute classic. If you don't get this, you have to renounce yourself in any way as part Southern, or even anything to do with the south of England.
I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't sign up for this.
this is a tom tit.
A tom tit.
You must know this one. I'm actually now physically. I am shaking.
I've never even heard of tom tit.
You've never heard of tom tit?
No. Was it a twit?
I'm going for a tom tit.
Oh, a shit. No, I've heard of black and white.
Do you say black? Man, okay.
Go for a black and white. Yeah.
Now we're getting into like regional. Now we're getting into regional fucking regional
rhyming slang all around England. Yeah, we say black and white, not tom tit.
Yeah. My two are: I'm going to drop the kids off at the pool.
Okay. Yeah.
Or I'm going to go pinch a loaf. That's the other one.
I will be honest. More often than not, I do just say I'm going to go have a shit.
I'm going for a dump.
I don't.
Yeah.
Going to go have a poo.
Some of these are absolutely ridiculous. Sausage roll, goal. Oh, you must know Ruby Murray.
Oh yeah, a curry. A Ruby Murray.
Yeah, going for a curry.
There you go. See, if you give me too many hard ones. Too many fucking... When was the last time someone said fucking syrup?
Dude, I swear to you,
syrup.
I guarantee in the last 5 years, someone said syrup to me in regards to a wig.
You're around too many people wearing wigs, mate. That's the problem. surrounded by wig-wearing cockneys. What sort of a life?
And then people have to talk about it as well.
We got any syrup? I say, yeah, mate. Yeah, just came down the Appleton stairs and got it.
Got it from the Trouble. All right, fantastic. I actually enjoyed it. That was quite fun. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening, everybody. Will, any last words?
No. None at all.
Alrighty, there we are. Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you next week.
Peace.